two kings. One founded Rome through bloodshed, one pacified it with prayer. Then came the third, who abandoned the gods and died by lightning. Now, with Rome shaken by divine fury and surrounded by hostile neighbors, a new ruler must rise. Not a builder of temples, not a reckless warlord, but a king who could balance the sword with the sacred. This is the story of Ancus Marcius, the bridge between peace and power, the king who expanded Rome by sea, by land, and by faith. Ancus Marcius didn't appear destined for the crown. He wasn't from the lineage of Romulus or Tullus, but he had something equally potent, a divine pedigree. His grandfather was Numa Pompilius, Rome's second king, the man who brought the city's religious structure into being. From Numa, Ancus inherited a deep respect for tradition, ritual, and order. But Ancus had also lived through the chaotic reign of Tullus Hostilius, a reign of bloodshed, conquest, and ultimately, divine punishment. As Rome stood leaderless after Tullus's fiery end, the Senate turned to a man who might restore the balance. A king who could honor the gods, and also protect the state. In Ancus, they found a ruler who was part priest, part soldier, and entirely Roman. The first act of Ancus Marcius was not to raise armies, but altars. He reinstated the sacred rites that Tullus had neglected. He reopened temples, reinforced the authority of priests, and established the Pontifex Maximus, Rome's chief religious official. But Ancus wasn't just a follower of religion. He systematized it. He ordered that all religious ceremonies, festivals, and omens be recorded and publicly displayed, a revolutionary act that ensured the people could understand the rituals that governed their fate. Rome would never again forget the gods, not because they feared another lightning strike, but because the rituals became part of Roman identity. Yet, even as Ancus rekindled the sacred flame, storm clouds gathered. While Ancus was honoring Jupiter and Vesta, Rome's enemies watched and waited. The Latins, sensing a return to Numa's pacifism, launched raids across Roman borders. But Ancus was not Numa. He was a warrior priest, and when the gods were honored, he believed they would bless Roman steel. Rome responded with fury. Ancus led campaigns across Latin territory, conquering city after city. Politorium, Telenae, Ficana, and Medulia. Each was defeated. Their populations were not massacred, but resettled inside Roman territory, on the Aventine Hill. This wasn't just expansion, it was integration. The defeated became Romans. Ancus was laying the groundwork for a Roman policy that would define an empire: absorb, don't annihilate. War brought prisoners, wealth, and land, but it also demanded structure. Ancus turned to building. He ordered the first bridge across the Tiber River, the Pons Sublicius, a wooden structure that allowed Rome to move troops, goods, and people across the river quickly. He established Rome's first port, Ostia, at the mouth of the Tiber. It would become the city's gateway to trade, commerce, and naval strength. He also fortified the Janiculum Hill across the river and connected it to Rome by building a wall and extending the city's boundaries. With each stone laid, Ancus sent a message. Rome would not be confined to 7 hills. It would stretch across rivers, coastlines, and time. Though he fought with sword and strategy, Ancus was also concerned with Roman law. He formalized a key diplomatic ritual, the Fetial Declaration of War. Under his guidance, Rome wouldn't just march on its enemies, it would justify its wars, invoking the gods and laying out clear grievances. The ritual involved sacred priests, called fetialis, who would demand reparations. If denied, war would be declared by hurling a spear into enemy territory, a symbolic act that bound Rome's wars to divine approval. In essence, Ancus made war sacred, not to pacify it, but to justify it. This fusion of law, religion, and violence would echo through Roman history, all the way to Caesar and beyond. After 24 years on the throne, Ancus Marcius died peacefully, a rare event for Roman kings. He left behind a city stronger than he found it, not just militarily, but spiritually, culturally, and architecturally. He had fought as Romulus did, prayed as Numa had, and ruled with more wisdom than Tullus ever did. Yet in his final act, Ancus unwittingly set the stage for Rome's next great transformation. Before his death, he welcomed a man into his court, an outsider, an Etruscan named Lucumo, who would later become Lucius Tarquinius Priscus, Rome's fifth king. With Ancus's passing, the age of Roman-born kings ended, and the age of foreign ambition began. Ancus Marcius was a bridge, literal and symbolic. He connected war to worship, conquest to culture, and city to sea. He was the last Roman king to die in peace, and the last to rule before ambition would consume the throne. Was he Rome's most balanced ruler, or a transitional figure in a kingdom already drifting toward monarchy and empire? Let us know in the comments, and if you're enjoying the Blood Crown, hit like, subscribe, and ring the bell so you don't miss our journey through the rulers who carved Rome's destiny in stone and in blood.